Midnight fog swallowed the city whole, street lamps glowing like dying embers through the haze. Lena pressed her back against the iron fence of Blackthorn Manor, newspaper clutched to her chest, the ad circled in red ink that bled from the rain. Live-in maid. Blackthorn Manor. Midnight entry. Speak to no one until spoken to. Pay negotiable. No phone number, no name, just the address and a single black feather taped to the corner. 19. Orphan. Last paycheck gone to the landlord, she had answered, because the alternative was a shelter cot and a future measured in empty soup cans. The gate loomed wrought iron, twisted into thorns, padlock rusted but intact. Lena lifted the feather, heart ticking louder than the distant church bell. The lock clicked open on its own, chains slithering to the gravel like a snake. She stepped through, boots crunching, fog closing behind her. The drive curved through skeletal oaks, moonlight striping the path in silver scars. The mansion rose sudden 3 stories of blackened stone, windows blind with plywood, a single turret piercing the sky like a broken finger. The front door stood ajar, candlelight flickering from within, shadows dancing on walls papered in faded crimson. Lena crossed the threshold. The door shut behind her with a soft thud, lock engaging without a hand. Silence rushed in, thick as the fog outside. A grandfather clock stood in the foyer, hands spinning backward, ticking loud enough to rattle her teeth. Dust motes hung suspended in the air, untouched by breath. A silver tray waited on a marble pedestal black envelope. Wax seal pressed with a thorn, her name in ink sharp as a blade. She broke the seal. Inside, a single brass key, small, teeth intricate, and a note in handwriting spidery but sure. Room at the top of the west stairs. Lock the door. Dawn brings instructions. She climbed the staircase, boots silent on threadbare runner, key cold in her palm. Portraits lined the walls, men in Victorian collars, women in mourning veils, eyes following her ascent. The west wing hallway stretched long, doors closed except one. Inside, a narrow bed, quilt patched in indigo, fireplace cold, but wood stacked neat. A second envelope lay on the pillow. Same thorn seal. Clocks run backward for a reason. Win the one in the library at 3 a.m. Do not open the east wing. She locked the door, slid a chair under the knob, and sat on the bed fully dressed, key clenched in her fist. The house breathed around her, beams creaking, pipes groaning, something scraping soft behind the walls. At 2:57 a.m., she crept downstairs, candle in one hand, key in the other. The library door stood open, moonlight spilling over leather-bound books and a globe scarred by thumbprints. The clock on the mantel spun faster, hands a blur. She found the winding key in a drawer, brass warm as skin, and turned it slow. The ticking slowed, then stopped. A panel in the bookshelf clicked open, revealing a narrow stair spiraling down. She hesitated, candle flickering, then stepped back. The panel closed on its own. Dawn filtered gray through the bedroom window. Lena woke to a third envelope slid under the door, thorn seal broken. Breakfast in the kitchen. Wear the uniform. Speak only when spoken to. She found the kitchen copper kettle, stove cold, a single plate, poached egg, toast cut diagonal, black coffee steaming. A gray maid-esque dress hung on a hook, hem brushing her ankles, apron crisp. She changed, key on a ribbon around her neck, and ate standing. Footsteps wheeled across the floor above, slow, deliberate. A shadow passed the doorway, tall despite the hunch, wheelchair creaking. Elias Blackthorn paused, eyes sharp beneath wild white hair, oxygen mask fogged with breath. He lifted it, voice gravel and smoke. You wound the clock. Good, the east wing stays locked. For now. He wheeled away, gown trailing like a ghost. Lena washed the plate, hands steady, heart loud. The manor settled into morning clocks ticking backward, roses wilting in vases, though no flowers grew outside, secrets stirring in the dust between heartbeats. She locked her door at night, key warm against her skin, 3 envelopes on the bedside table like silent witnesses to a legacy waiting to ignite. Morning light crept through the west wing curtains in cautious slivers, painting the indigo quilt gold. Lena woke to the backward tick of the hallway clock, key ribbon tangled in her hair, 3 envelopes stacked neat on the nightstand. She dressed in the gray uniform, apron tied tight, and descended to the kitchen. A 4th envelope waited beside a plate of oatmeal laced with honey, thorn seal intact. Polish the silver in the dining hall, dust the library. Do not touch the east wing. A brass key lay beside it, smaller, teeth simpler, labeled silver drawer. She pocketed both, ate quick, and followed the scent of lemon oil through the house. The dining hall stretched long, table set for 20, though dust covered every plate. Chandeliers hung heavy with cobwebs. A wheelchair sat at the head, cushions indented with Elias S. shape. Lena opened the silver drawer with the new key, lifted tarnished forks and spoons into a basin of vinegar water. She polished until mirrors gleamed, reflections showing a girl with sharp cheekbones and eyes older than 19. Footsteps wheeled overhead slow circuits, stopping at each window. A note slid under the dining hall door, paper folded into a perfect square. Tea at noon, conservatory. Bring the library key. She found the conservatory through a side corridor, glass walls fogged with breath, ferns taller than her head, a fountain trickling over cracked marble. Elias waited in his chair, oxygen hissing soft, a single white rose in a crystal vase beside him. A tray held scones, clotted cream, tea steaming in porcelain cups thin as eggshells. He lifted his mask, voice gravel. Sit, eat. She obeyed, key warm against her chest. He watched her bite into a scone, crumbs falling like snow. You polish the silver left-handed. My wife did the same. She's been gone 60 years. But the forks, remember? Conversation stayed one-sided. Elias, speaking in notes passed across the table. Ink spidery, but sure. Win the music box in the nursery at 3 p.m. Do not open the east wing. He wheeled away after tea, gown trailing, leaving her with the white rose in a 5th envelope. She climbed to the nursery crib draped in dust, mobile of brass gears spinning backward, music box on the windowsill carved with thorns. She wound it slow. A lullaby played in minor key, gears clicking like bones. A panel in the wall clicked open, revealing a narrow drawer. Inside, a childess drawing stick figures holding hands. A house with a turret, words scrawled in crayon. Daddy fixes the world. She tucked it into her apron, closed the panel, heart loud in the quiet. Afternoon brought chores dusting the library ladders, oiling the globe until continents spun smooth, winding every backward clock until hands froze at 3:17. Each task earned a note slid under doors or left on mantels. Shelved the blue volumes by height. Do not touch the east wing. She obeyed, fingers trailing spines. Quantum Mechanics 1923, Perpetual Motion Debunked, The Theft of Thunder. One book lay open on the desk, pages annotated in Elias's hand. They stole the coil. I let them. Time reverses the crime. She closed it gentle, dust rising like smoke. Dinner appeared unannounced: roast chicken, potatoes crisp, peas bright as emeralds, a 6th envelope beside the plate. Play the piano in the ballroom at dusk. Do not open the east wing. The ballroom glowed under chandeliers freed of cobwebs, grand piano black and gleaming. Lena lifted the fallboard, keys yellowed but true. She played the only song she knew, a village hymn her mother sang over laundry. Notes floated through the house, found cracks, filled rooms. Elias wheeled in silent, eyes closed, oxygen hissing in time. When the final chord faded, he pressed a 7th envelope into her hand. Sleep. Tomorrow. The first riddle. Night fell heavy. Lena returned to her room. 7 envelopes now stacked like cards. White Rose joined by a second on the bedside table. She opened the latest under candlelight. What has keys but opens no doors, runs backward but never flees, and holds the theft in its heart? She puzzled until eyes burned, then slept with the riddle under her pillow, key warm against her skin. The manor settled around her clocks ticking backward, roses breathing beyond the window, secrets stirring in the dust between heartbeats. Dawn slid through the west wing curtains in pale gold, waking Lena to the backward tick of the hallway clock, and 8 white roses crowding the bedside table, petals edged with frost though no window stood open. The riddle envelope lay solved beneath her pillow, the piano ink smudged where her cheek had pressed. She dressed in the gray uniform, apron crisp, and descended to the kitchen. A 9th envelope waited beside porridge steaming with cinnamon. Thorn seal broken. Solve the second riddle. Find the door that lies. Open it with the piano key. A brass key lay beside it longer, teeth shaped like musical notes. She pocketed both, ate quick, and followed the scent of lemon oil to the ballroom. The grand piano stood lid raised, strings gleaming. Lena pressed the new key into a hidden slot beneath the fallboard. A panel in the wall clicked open, revealing a narrow corridor lit by sconces that flickered to life at her approach. Dust swirled thick, cobwebs brushed her face like fingers. The passage twisted left, then right, ending at a door painted to blend with the paneling handle shaped like a treble clef. She turned the key. The lock sighed open. Inside, a laboratory frozen in time workbenches buried under coils of copper wire. Glass tubes clouded with age, blueprints pinned to corkboards yellowed but precise. A single machine dominated the center brass sphere the size of a pumpkin, gears meshing silent, a faint hum vibrating the air. Footsteps wheeled behind her. Elias appeared in the doorway, oxygen hissing soft, eyes sharp beneath wild hair. He lifted his mask, voice gravel. The thunder coil powers a city on a thimble of water. They called it impossible. Stole the patent in '59. He wheeled closer, fingers tracing the sphere. Solve the third riddle. What spins but never moves, lights the dark but casts no shadow, and waits for the servant who listens. He pressed a 10th envelope into her hand, thorn seal intact, and wheeled away. The door closed soft behind him, lock engaging without a key. Lena explored the lab until dusk blueprints detailing a device that split hydrogen with sunlight, notes scrawled in margins. Corporate thieves buried it. I buried the proof. She found a hidden drawer beneath the workbench, opened with the piano key inside. A Child-S toy coil, wares wrapped in ribbon. A photograph of young Elias beside a woman with Lena, S own dark eyes, both smiling beside the sphere. A note in crayon. Daddy fixes the world. She tucked everything into her apron, heart loud in the quiet. Dinner appeared in the conservatory beef stew thick with carrots, bread warm, an 11th envelope beside the bowl. Win the sphere at midnight. Do not open the east wing. She ate quick, returned to the lab under cover of darkness, candle flickering. The sphere-S winding key waited in a glass case. She turned it slow. Gears clicked, hum growing to a song. Lights flared along the copper coil's soft blue, steady, enough to read by. A panel in the floor clicked open, revealing stairs spiraling down. She hesitated, candle trembling, then descended. The basement stretched vast shelves of prototypes, crates labeled rejected, a single door at the far end painted black, handle shaped like a lightning bolt. The piano key fit, the lock side open. Inside, a vault of files patents stamped stolen, letters from corporations offering millions, then threats, a ledger detailing bribes to silence the world. A final envelope lay on top, thorn seal broken. The master key opens the east wing. Solve the final riddle there. What was taken must be returned. She climbed back, sphere still humming, lights casting her shadow long across the lab. She spent the evening in the library, cross-referencing blueprints with the stolen patents, piecing together the theft Elias S. partner selling the coil to an energy conglomerate. Elias discredited as mad, the invention buried in classified files. She copied key pages with Elias S. old fountain pen, ink bleeding like blood. At 11:57 p.m., she wound the sphere again. The hum deepened to a heartbeat. A new panel slid aside in the lab ceiling, revealing a ladder to the attic. She climbed, boots silent on rungs, and found a telescope pointed at the stars. A star chart annotated with dates 1959, the night the patent vanished. Night fell heavy. Lena returned to her room, 11 envelopes stacked like bricks, white roses now 12, petals brushing like whispers. She opened the latest under candlelight. What door lies open yet guards the truth, stands at the heart of the house yet faces the storm, and waits for the maid who carries the spark? She puzzled until eyes burned, then realized the east wing, forbidden from day one. She crept downstairs, piano key warm in her palm, and found the east wing door at the end of the main corridor handle shaped like a storm cloud, lock intricate. The key turned slow, the door sighed open. Inside, a storm in miniature windows rattling though no wind blew, lightning captured in glass orbs, a massive coil taller than her, copper wires thick as her wrist. Blueprints covered every wall, the thunder coil scaled to power a nation. A desk held the master key gold, teeth like lightning bolts, and a final envelope. You found the heart. The east wing faces the storm because truth does. Take the master key, expose them, or bury me with the secret. Your choice. She pocketed the master key, heart loud in the quiet, and locked the door behind her. Morning brought the 12th envelope slid under her door breakfast at dawn. The choice is yours. She dressed, master key heavy around her neck, and descended to the conservatory. Elias waited, oxygen hissing softer, eyes bright despite the shadows. He lifted his mask, voice a thread. You opened the east wing. Good. The world needs a spark, or it needs the silence. Decide before I die. He wheeled away, gown trailing, leaving her with the white roses and the weight of a legacy that could light the dark or stay buried forever. The manor settled around her clocks ticking backward, sphere humming below, secrets sparking in the dust between heartbeats. Morning light filtered weak through the conservatory glass, frost etching the panes like lace. Lena woke on the wicker settee where she'd fallen asleep, master key cold against her chest, 12 white roses wilted in their vase. The manor felt heavier clocks ticking slower backward. The spheress hum a low moan from the lab below. She found Elias in the east wing, wheelchair parked before the massive coil, oxygen hissing faint, eyes fixed on the lightning orbs that flickered without storm. He lifted his mask, voice barely air, the final riddle. What ignites without fire, powers without fuel, and dies if buried but lives if shared? He pressed a trembling hand to the coil. Solve it before sunset. My time ends with the light. Lena spent the day in the east wing, master key opening every drawer, every panel. Blueprints detailed the theft Elias S. partner, Harlan Corp., patent filed under false names. Elias committed to an asylum for delusions. She found recordings reel-to-reel tapes labeled Proof Elias S. Younger Voice describing the coil, timestamps matching the stolen patent. A safe behind the coil opened with the master key inside, a prototype sphere the size of a heart, wires glowing soft blue when she touched it. It hummed warm, lights dancing across the room, enough to power the chandelier overhead. She carried it to the conservatory, set it beside Elias. His eyes widened, winter sky fierce. The spark. You found it. He dictated a letter, voice fading with each word confession, coordinates to buried evidence in the garden, instructions to contact the press. Lena wrote until her hand cramped, ink bleeding like tears. At noon, the village lawyer arrived summoned by a note Elias had slipped under the door, days ago witness to the will. Elias signed with a shaking hand, bequeathing everything to Lena. Manor, patents, the thunder coil. Expose them, he rasped, or let the world stay dark. Your choice. The lawyer left, envelope sealed, eyes wide at the glowing prototype. Afternoon brought snow, soft and silent. Lena wheeled Elias to the garden, master key opening a rusted gate. Beneath the central rosebed thorns black with age, she dug with a silver trowel. A metal box emerged, lock shaped like a lightning bolt. The master key turned. Inside, original patents, Harlan Corp contracts, a ledger of bribes. She carried it to the lab, spread the proof under the Sphere S blue light. Elias watched from the doorway, oxygen hissing softer. The Riddle S answer, he whispered. Truth. Dusk painted the sky bruise purple. Lena sat beside Elias in the east wing, prototype sphere humming between them, lights casting their shadows long. He lifted his mask one last time, voice a thread. I buried it to protect it. You'll ignite it to free it. Promise. She promised, tears cutting clean tracks through dust on her cheeks. His hand found hers, cold but steady, then fell limp. The oxygen hissed once, then stopped. The coil's hum deepened, lights flaring bright, enough to rival the dying sun. Lena closed his eyes, pressed a white rose into his palm, and wheeled him to the conservatory. She lit every candle, opened every window, let snow drift across the floor. The manor mourned clocks freezing at 3:17, sphere humming a dirge. She locked the east wing, master key heavy around her neck, and prepared for sunrise. The proof waited in the lab, the will in the lawyer S hands, the world outside still dark. She slept in the gray uniform, master key under her pillow, 13 white roses now guarding the bed like silent sentinels, to a legacy ready to ignite. The manor settled into night clock silent, sphere glowing steady, secrets sparking in the frost between heartbeats. She woke before dawn to the sphere-s hum-shifting pitch, lights pulsing urgent. A new panel in the lab wall had opened overnight master key slot, glowing blue. She turned it. A vault door sighed wide. Inside, a complete thunder coil, human-sized copper coils thick as her arm, blueprints rolled tight. A final envelope lay on top, thorn seal broken. Build it, power the world, or bury it with me. The choice is yours, but choose before they come. She carried the coil to the conservatory, set it beside Elias's body, lights bathing his face in blue. The lawyer returned at first light, will in hand, eyes wide at the glowing machine. The reading is today, he said. The corporation sent representatives. Lena dressed in black, master key gleaming, and wheeled Elias's body to the ballroom. The coil followed on a dolly, humming soft. Villagers filled the room curious, grieving, whispering of madness in millions. Harlan Corp executives arrived in suits sharp as knives, smiles thin. The lawyer read the will manor, patents, coil to Lena. Gasps rippled. An executive stood, voice oily. Fraud. The old man was insane. Lena turned the master key in the coil. Lights flared, chandeliers blazing without wires. She played the reel-to-reel Elias' voice clear, detailing the theft. Blueprints unrolled across the floor, patents stamped original. The executives paled, reached for phones. Lena raised the prototype sphere high. The truth ignites. Snow turned to sleet, tapping the windows like impatient fingers. Lena locked the ballroom doors, master key warm in her palm. She faced the crowd, voice steady. Elias Blackthorne invented clean energy. They stole it, buried him. Today we light the world. She powered the full coil lights blazing through the manor, sphere humming a song. Villagers cheered. Executives fled into the storm. The lawyer smiled. Will signed. Legacy sealed. Lena stood beside Elias's body. 13 roses now joined by a 14th. Thornless. Perfect. The manor breathed easier clocks ticking forward for the first time. Sphere glowing steady, truth sparking bright in the sleep between heartbeats. Spring thawed the manor grounds into emerald, roses blooming white and fierce along every path. Lena stood at the ballroom podium, black dress swapped for a simple blue gown, master key now a pendant gleaming gold. The thunder coil powered the chandeliers overhead, lights steady without a single wire to the grid. Villagers packed the room, children on shoulders, grandmothers clutching patents like hymnals, the lawyer beaming beside a table stacked with blueprints. Harlan Corp executives sat cuffed in the corner, Sheriff S deputies guarding, faces pale as the sleet they defled into months ago. The will reading became a celebration. Lena unrolled the final blueprint thunder coil scaled for a city. Notes in Elias's hand scrawled across margins. For the world, for the servant who listened. She powered the full coil. Lights blazed brighter, the sphere humming a triumphant song. A screen lowered reel-to-reel footage of young Elias demonstrating the prototype, voice clear over crackling speakers. Gasps turned to cheers. Children released paper coils into the air, wires spinning like fireworks. The sheriff read the charges: corporate theft, fraud, conspiracy. Harlan Corp crumbled on live news, stocks plunging before the sunset. Summer crowned the transformation. Lena turned the manor into Blackthorn Energy Institute East Wing labs open to the public, West Wing dorms for orphan scholars, ballroom a lecture hall where she taught physics in the gray uniform now patched with love. The thunder coil powered the village first street lamps glowing free, homes warm without bills, farms irrigating with crystal river water. She scaled the design with village engineers, coils rolling off assembly lines in the old nursery, gears clicking like the mobile that spun forward now. Cities clamored, contracts poured in, profits funneled back to scholarships, clinics, a rose garden where children planted white hybrids named Lena S. Spark. Autumn brought the first Global Energy Summit manor grounds packed with tents, scientists in awe, children demoing pocket coils that lit entire campsites. Lena stood on the porch, blue gown bright against the stone, master key raised high. She unveiled the statue Elias young and strong, arms full of copper wire, Lena beside him holding the prototype sphere, lightning frozen in bronze. The crowd roared, fireworks cracked overhead, blue sparks raining like the coil's first light. She married in the rose garden that night, simple white gown, veil pinned with a thornless bloom. The village blacksmith walking her down an aisle of glowing coils. The groom Finn, the sheriff S deputy who guarded the executives, steady hands and kind laugh vowed forever beside the fountain. They danced under strings of coil-lit bulbs, children spinning paper gears, the manor humming alive. Years folded like petals. Lena S. children learned to wind the sphere in the lab, to read Elias S. journals by coil light, to plant white roses every spring. The institute grew. Campuses in every continent, coils powering hospitals, schools, entire nations off the grid. Harlan Corp S. ruins funded orphanages. Their old headquarters became Blackthorn University. Dorms named for the riddles Lena solved. She taught until her hair silvered. Master key passed to her daughter dark eyes, sharp cheekbones, the next servant to listen. Winter settled gentle on the 20th anniversary. Snow dusted the manor like powdered sugar, coils glowing warm through every window. Lena stood in the conservatory, white gown bright against the frost, Finesse arm around her waist, their youngest grandchild winding the original prototype sphere. The village stretched below rooftops glowing, river-iced but flowing beneath, children releasing paper coils into the wind. The brass band played the lullaby from the music box. Lena raised the master key high, voice carrying over the crowd. He wasn't mad, he was the spark we needed, and we'll keep it burning forever. The manor breathed around them, clocks ticking forward, coils humming steady, roses filling every vase with white and gold. The world drank deep from the legacy, the dark finally lit, and the servant who entered with nothing left, with a light that powered empires. The celebration spilled into the ballroom tables, groaning with village feasts. Children demoing pocket coils that lit chandeliers without wires. Lena danced with Finn under the bronze statue, now moved indoors, Master Key catching every spark. Her daughter Elias's namesake, sharp mind and kind heart, unveiled the new wing. A global research hub, coils scaled to power continents, scholarships for every orphan who knocked. The crowd cheered, fireworks cracked overhead again, blue sparks raining eternal. Night fell soft. Lena and Finn walked the rose garden alone, coils lighting the path, snow melting at their feet. She pressed the master key into his palm, then her daughter S. "Keep solving riddles," she whispered. "Keep igniting truth." They kissed under the thornless blooms, the manor humming alive, the world forever changed by a maid who listened when no one else would.